evening, folks. Welcome back to Alien Addict. This is a show where we deep dive into the history of ufology using original publications and materials, because we all know that the truth is out there. Welcome on into the show, and happy Friday to you all. So yes, it's been a week and a half, I think, since I've done the last live stream. Yeah, apologies for that. I haven't been in the right frame of mind. So I think when there's days like that, sometimes you've got to take a step back and recharge the batteries, so to speak. But nevertheless, the show must go on. And I hope you're enjoying the new content I've been putting up. And it seems to be kicking off all right, actually, come to think about it. The old school VHS tapes, which are doing gangbusters at the moment. So people are enjoying the history. Well, the 90s, I would say. That's a lot of my VHS tapes that I've been uploading to Alien Addict. So I do have one to sort of clarify, because I did upload a short the other day. And a lot of people are going, Nick, come on, you know it's a Chinese lantern. But don't worry, we're going to get into it a little bit later, okay? Because today we are talking about this, okay? Joseph Andreas Epp. I've got this photograph here. I'll get to it in a second. These photographs right here look quite convincing, doesn't it, really? So I have done a very short episode on Joseph Andreas Epp's story, and I start to go into more in depth about his upbringing, his background. And then I realised it's going to be another 3-hour show. And I thought, you know what, there's so much information that's not really necessary to do with his life. So I shortened it down. So we're just going to go for about an hour and a half today, guys. Okay, I'm going to shorten down the live streams. But I'm going to stick to what's most important to do with the guy, because there's a lot of like fabricated stories. Don't worry, we're going to get into it, because it is Joseph Andreas Epp, who is the guy we're going to be talking about today, is one of those guys that has inserted himself into ufology and made a lot of wild claims, a lot of fabrication to sort of build himself up into the lore. So I think I just need to clarify a few things. But nevertheless, it's quite interesting. So yeah, but happy Friday to you all. Hope you're all doing well. Let's just get through chat. Hello, Rebecca. How's it going? Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Uzuri boy, how's it going? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, subscribers are going up. It's quite nice. 100,000, that'd be wonderful. So yeah, if you're new to the channel, please like and subscribe. It'd be much appreciated. And Chillster, how's it going, man? Hope you're doing well. And Corbell's Cat, how's it going? John Strokes, thanks for the shout out, brother. Much appreciated. And Sheep Pop, how's it going? Nice to see you. Oh, Paul Robertson, how's it going? How's the operation? Hope you're all recovered now. It's been like a month, isn't it? So I hope you're doing well. And the first sip of the first beer in the month. Blimey, that's doing good, mate. I'm not saying you're an alcoholic or anything like that, but yeah. Yeah, of course, because if you're at an operation, I think the alcohol doesn't really help. So yeah, I hope you're doing well anyway, mate. And I'm off to camping tomorrow in Penny Van. So that will be my first drink of the, well, actually no, I had a drink last week. I had last week something that blew my mind. All right, I love an espresso martini. I really enjoy it. But the lady said, well, you can either have vodka or Baileys. I was like, tell you what, put a bit of Baileys in that. And oh my God, went down like a tree. It's like, oh, gone, 12 quid, gone like that. It's so expensive these days, cocktails. But yeah, hope you're doing well, man. Nice to see you. And who else we got in chat? Rogue Writer 2000 test. Yes, I can hear you, man. I can hear you. Hope you're doing well. Let's go back down. Let's have a little look. I think that was everyone so far. Shiva. Oh, hold on. Do you know what? I think I might need glasses at this point. Shiva's My Survivor. Nice to see you. Love the name. Oh, Shiva is my survivor. There we go. See, I told you I need glasses. Hope you're doing well. Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. So, yeah, it's a very strange week, isn't it? We lost Nick Pope. That was very sad, isn't it? It's very, very sad news for the community. And there's one thing I did notice, right? I don't want to start off with a bit of a downer, but there was a few comments that were just really nasty that I put a post out on Alien Addict, and a lot of people was giving Nick Pope his praises and everything. But there was some of them that was just like really harsh and nasty that I actually ended up deleting because it was just going to cause an argument. But I'm just going to say, if you are one of those people that you are in my live stream right now, I'm going to ask you kindly to leave, because I do not want you here, because you've just shown me, I've got a list of the names right here that you're not really welcome here on Alien Addict, because if you can't be nice to a guy that's literally suffered through cancer and is now passed, and you've got nothing nice to say, don't say it at all. And it's like really nasty comments as well. And it really put me in a really crappy mood as well. So I'm going to ask you kindly to leave, or I'll get my moderators to block you. All right. So I know who you are. Okay. And I just want to let you know that you are soulless, heartless, degenerate, and you are not welcome here on Alien Addict. I'm just going to leave it like that. But a lot of people have gave a lot of his praises to Nick Pope. So yeah, it's just one of those weeks, isn't it, man? It's really, really sad. But he's plenty of content out there for us to indulge into Nick Pope. And I think I've got a VHS tape somewhere. I forgot to go for my collection. I think one of his presentations from 1996. So yeah. We'll see at some point. So what we want stool for today. So Joseph Andreas Epp, going to go through UFO Hard Evidence Volume 7 and a UFO documentary a little bit. An unknown one as well. It's going to get to that. Hey, Spirit Getty, nice to see you, man. Hope you're doing well. And Science Evidence Fringe. How's it going, man? Hope you're both doing well, and happy Friday to you both. Right, okay, so let's get into... I tell you what was hilarious, right? My neighbour gets his newspapers delivered, and I go through it a little bit, and I put it through his letterbox, and I saw this, right? So was it Wednesday? Yeah, that was like the 9th. No, it was the 8th, wasn't it? And I was just scrolling through his little newspapers, just have a little look, and it said this: hottest day in early April for 80 years, right? Okay, so let's go back to the year 2020. During the first lockdown, it was absolutely crystal clear blue sky. No chems in the sky. It was absolutely beautiful. And it was like 25 degrees. And it actually fails to mention that in this news report. I could not believe it. And it's pushing the idea that just one day, literally one day of the month, is the hottest day of the year. And everything goes bananas, isn't it? It's like, oh, it's your fault. It's to do with climate change. And I was reading through this article, and it was suggesting that it was the hottest day on world record in 80 years. And I thought, that is a load of nonsense. So I'm not going to dwell too much on that, because I just I was like, please. Anyone in England can remember 2020, the first lockdown, which was around about end of March. The whole of April was like 25, or even above that. Every single day. It was beautiful. It was stunning. But this shows you how mainstream media still lies. But anyway, we're going to ignore that because I don't want to get triggered. You know me. We're going to get to this, right? So this popped up on one of my Facebook pages I look at to do with ufology. And I actually had to, once they unsubscribe, like unlike these pages, because there is so much nonsense. So much nonsense that comes with this territory of ufology now. Especially like Facebook pages, obviously TikTok, you know what it's like, guys, which I kind of like stay away from, really, to be honest with you. This popped up, all right? So rare photos of circular aircraft prototypes and Haunebu UFO experiments. First things first. Hey, first things first. I'm going to say hello to Sophia. How's it going, Sophia? Nice to see you. I'm off to Wales tomorrow. I'm off to Penny Van. I hope you said that right. Going to go camping for the day, which would be nice. But I hope you're doing well. Nice to see you. And Sadie, how's it going? Yeah. April was always a strange month. Can snow and be warm. Yeah, I mean, going back to like 2020, the first lockdown, it was absolutely crystal clear blue sky. It was absolutely stunning. But yeah, it's always a mixed bag in it with England, isn't it? It's never the same. But anyway, we're going to go back to this, right? So this popped up, and I looked at these photographs. I thought, this is not... I mean, first things first, yes, circular disc-shaped aircraft, prototypes for sure. But then it mentions about Haunebu, and I was like, that is not Haunebu. This is a real photograph. Well, these can be a bit... We'll get to these photographs in a sec. But that's called the SAG, all right? S-A-G-E. It was created in Germany in 1938 as experimental circular disc-shaped aircraft. Again, I would say they more or less developed that in that sort of time period. But these photographs right here, these top ones, okay, and it came from this UFO, aliens, and other planets, something like that. All right. So it says newly surfaced photos of circular aircraft prototypes from the mid 20th century reveals a terrifying link between human warfare and alien technology. The Haunebu experiments proved that certain factions had access to downed UAPs and were attempting to reverse engineer propulsion systems. Straight off the bat, Green Tea, how's it going? Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. A load of nonsense. Yeah, I can't believe it. I'm like, oh, everything's wrong about that page. But Ella Green Tea, nice to see you. Welcome on in. Nice to see you. But in regards of this, right, I'll carry on. So the cross markings on these craft indicate they were flight tested long before modern UFO craze began, suggesting that many sightings were actually human-piloted craft using stolen cosmic secrets. However, the energy source for these disks remained beyond human capabilities, implying an external power supply. Oh my god! Do you know what? I think I need glasses. The legacy of Haunebu discs show that the hunt for alien technology has been driving force for secret history. Damn it. And these, for God's sake, blow it up for Christ's sake. As these ancient experiments are brought to light, we see that the stage of the final alien arrival has been set for over 80 years. Nonsense. I have never heard completely. How's it going? Angs. Is it Angs Tight? What's your real name, man? I forgot. But I hope you're doing well, man. Nice to see you. I'm just going to call you Hangs for the time being. Nice to see you, man. Welcome on in. And yeah, peace to you as well, brother. Hope you're doing well. But straight off the bat, this is absolutely total nonsense. Nothing makes sense in terms of that. So if you're new to Alien Addict and you want to know the full history of German UFOs or German flying saucers, go check out the Alien Addict playlist. I have over 24 parts and over nearly 60 hours of me breaking down this conspiracy. I don't think there's any other channels on YouTube that actually does what I do by using original publications. So I know this conspiracy right off the bat, like the back of my hand, basically, like I'm looking to do lectures about it. Because there's just so much BS that comes with, especially the internet now, when you look at it. So yeah, straight off the bat, total nonsense. And it has this, obviously these photographs right here as the thumbnail. Oh, we've got some new people turned up. Hey, Carlos the Skywatcher. How's it going, man? Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Anyone else in here? I think that's it. But yeah, hope you're doing well, Carlos. Nice to see you. So what I would like to do today is, yeah, that's it. Yeah, UFO, aliens, other planets, and paranormal activity. And it has over 256 members. He was getting filled by absolute nonsense. Welcome to ufology. But nevertheless, let's get to the photographs. So there's a little bit of a presentation. I've actually broken things down in perspective. So the more important stuff, okay? And today's topic is about this guy right here. 2 seconds. Both. There he is. Joseph Andreas Epp. All right. He is the guy that has inserted himself into the flying discs of the Third Reich. Okay, now these are the Otto Hobbermore, Giuseppe Belluzzo, Richard Mathey, and Dr. Heinrich Richard Mathey. Oh, sorry, I'm looking at chat. I'll screw my words up. Twisted Hippie, how's it going? Nice to see you. Let me rephrase that. So, Rudolf Schriever, Otto Hobbermore, Giuseppe Belluzzo, and Richard Mathey projects. And these are the flying discs of, hold on. Have I got anything here I can show flying discs of? No. Hold on. I'll tell you what, we'll get to some publication in a sec. So this guy has basically inserted himself into that phenomena back in 1941 to 1945. But as I was going through the books and publications, his bibliography, I started to notice there's a lot of misinformation. And then as time goes by, he started to change the story. But I'm going to give you a background of his story first of all. I'm going to back things up with a bit of a few documents, and then we're going to get into the photographs that he'd taken, and then obviously later on in life, okay? So I've shortened it down. Normally this would have been like a 3-hour presentation, but a lot of it would have been quite boring because it's kind of like unnecessary stuff. I mean, it's more or less to do with his life, but I wanted to focus on his development in the flying disc program, okay? Or a consultant, so to speak. So you know me on Alien Addict. Before I do anything, book of references. So if you're new to Alien Addict, I go old school, books, old documentaries. I do a deep dive into the history of ufology, but I want to go through old publications. Like, for instance, I've got a load of these old 70s magazines that came through the post. Got a load of them right here. And I've got a bunch more. In fact, if you want to see my collection, part of it, that's some of it. And a little bit there. Hold on. That and that. I got a lot of them. Right. So I mostly deal with old publications. But today we are specifically dealing with... I'll tell you what. That's what I forgot to do. Because I'm rushing around. I need to go to my notes. I'm going to bring this back up to show you where this comes from. Wait for it. Wait for it. That. Okay. Look at these at the top. Right off the bat, I knew exactly where that came from. I'm going to show you right here. So, book of references today. Look. Hitler's Flying Saucers by Henry E. Stevens. So that is these photographs on the left-hand side. And I knew exactly where this came from because I've gone deep dive into this book. So, shows you where I knew that is nothing to do with Hownabu. But yes, flying discs for sure. All right. So let's get rid of that. And let's bring up Andreas Epp. So I'm on the right track. Fantastic. Put me a bit bigger. Right, so today I'm going to go through some extracts from Hitler's Flying Saucers, a guide to German flying discs of the Second World War by Henry E. Stevens. This was released in 2003. He has another edition right here that was released in 2005, which is more information in regards of the Saucer projects. I've got this book by the man himself, Joseph Andreas Epp. It's called Die Realität der Flugscheiben, which means the reality of flying discs. That was released in 2005. And the granddaddy of them all, if you want to know everything about German flying discs, not the Hownabu anti-gravity, the flying discs, check out this book. Flying Saucers from Nazi Land, the true story of the UFOs, Volume 1. And this is an absolutely fantastic book that no one really knows about, to be honest with you. I love the photograph. Well, AI photograph of the front cover. And this is by, he's an Italian, Murzio Verga. Is that right? So, yeah. So I've been taking extracts from these publications right here. Okay, so you know I'm not just dealing with internet research. So again, this has nothing to do with internet research. It's all to do with publications and books. All right. Put these back. There we go. So you know what we're dealing with here. Okay, so let's get back to Joseph Andreas Epp. I'm going to start from his story. Okay. Notes. Where are my notes? Here we go. Back to pen and paper, old school way. Beautiful. Right, so we've done book of references. Also, and this book as well, UFO Photographs, Volume 1, or UFOs Around the World, Volume 1. So there you go. Check that out in a sec. Fantastic. Right, okay. So, started off from all the way back to the beginning. So as a child and teenager, Joseph was fascinated with science and flight. Okay, so flight characteristics and aviation, particularly in aircraft and aviation capabilities. So he was very interested in how these aircraft flew. So this is back in, well, he was born in, excuse me, 1914 and died in 1997. So this is very, very early on in German aviation. And he was born in Cuxhaven in Germany, and eventually moved to Hamburg in Germany. Okay, so he was in that time where Germany was spooky secret societies were developing. Obviously, they had a Treaty of Versailles because it was after the Second World War, etc. So you get the idea what I've been talking about over the years on Alien Addict. So he spent his time observing birds and how they flew, and he sort of tried to put that concept into motion because he was interested in, at that point, when especially when he was a teenager, in circular aircraft. Because one time he had a little bottle cap and he threw it, and he noticed that actually he went into like a what would you call it, like a frisbee sort of motion, you know, sort of had that sort of flight characteristics. He's like, maybe I'll put that in the back of my mind and maybe can actually apply that into his plans later on. So, according to his bibliography, he stated that the experiments were with circular disc-shaped aircraft as a youth. So this is where he got a lot of concepts from. Hold on, I've got yeah, this is one of the books of references I'm taking it from. There's another picture of him. 2, 3. So age 16, around 1930, after finishing primary school, Ebb tried to get employment at the excuse me, Bloemhaven Voss shipyard to build aircraft in Humsburg. And at this time, excuse me, God, frog in my throat. He was building miniature aircraft. So he was seeing these new types of aircraft being built by Germany. And he became quite fascinated with it. And he eventually built like miniature aircraft. Now, this was taken in the 50s, all right? But just gives you a concept of where his love for aviation really came from. So little small miniature models that actually flew. So after age 16, he tried to get employment at the shipyard to build aircraft in Humsburg. Instead, he became an apprentice at the dockyard for 2 years. After that, in 1932, he worked as a labour camp training prisoner for aircraft-related work. Make sure I've got everything right here. Yep, okay. So in 1936, oh my God, I'm so sorry, guys. Age 22, Epp joined the Luftwaffe, which is the German Air Force, as an aircraft technician and also a fighter pilot. This allowed him to study the technical side of the aircraft and how they flew. Okay, so this is where the concept really came from, where he started to build his love for aviation. Sorry, guys, if I'm not paying attention to the chat. I will just quickly, in case anyone's new else came in. I think there's everyone here. Oh, thank you so much for the $5, man. Oh, thank you so much. Ab Lincoln, is that right? I think that's right. But hope you're well, and thank you so much for the $5, brother. Thank you so much. It's much appreciated. And yeah, thank you so much. Much appreciated. I'll save that so I can thank you later. Both. There we go. Fantastic. Okay. So in regards of him joining the Luftwaffe Air Force, he was learning the technical side of how to build aircraft. So in 1936, as an aircraft technician, he reportedly met with the famous World War I pilot called Ernest Judel at Hamburg Airport, and in which this guy Ernest actually helped him support Epp in his interest in aircraft design. Have we got anything here? Okay, we'll get to that in a sec. So I'm going to gloss over a lot of his weird stuff. I wouldn't say weird stuff, but a lot of his personal stuff in life. Okay, so in 1938, Epp witnessed a demonstration of an experimental new aircraft called the Focke-Wulf 61 helicopter, piloted by Hannah Rich. That's a German name. Hannah Rich, if that's right. So she was a woman German fighter pilot. So this is taken from his bibliography. And this is the aircraft, so to speak. All right, so we'll get to that in a sec. And that is the Focke-Wulf. So it's almost like the first helicopter that was built. And this was built in Germany, hence we've got the bloody swastika on the side there. So, so this what sparked Andreas Epp's interest in circular disc-shaped aircraft. So what he noticed, that the propellers, and he took that concept of the rotation of the propellers and he put it into a more or less like a circular disc-shaped aircraft, which kind of resembles of what Rudolf Schriever and Otto Hobsbawm were sort of developing in the early 40s. Okay, so this is like in the 1930s. So the whole concept of his applications of a flying disc came from the propellers itself. All right, so he really sorted with that concept. All right. And he eventually drew up plans in 1939 and 1942 of his own drawings of a circular disc-shaped aircraft. And this is allegedly, yes, Twisted Hippie, VTOL, which stands for Vertical Landing and Takeoff. All right. So this was like you're sort of getting rid of the runway. Obviously, you need motion to sort of propel the craft going up, which we're still using now with commercial airlines. You just literally just have a disc shape that will just rise vertically. All right, so that's where this concept came from. So this is originally, allegedly, I should say, about his circular disc-shaped aircraft from 1939, which he's drawn up plans. All right. So yes, he drawn up plans right here. You can see in 1938 and 1941, which he called the heliplane. And this is it right here. So in 1941, this is where the emotions start to get into. Hey, Woody, how's it going, man? Hope you're doing well. And yeah, welcome onto the show. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. So yes, in 1941, Epp handed over a very small model of the heliplane and his designs to the RLM, which is the Reich Air Ministry in Berlin, in 1941, I should state. The head of the department was Ernest Udall, then forwarded the plans to General Walter Dornberger, who apparently, according to Epp, was the test... it was around the test facility in Peenemünde. All right, so that is one location of where these flying disc-shaped aircraft were tested. We got, I think, yeah, that's another plan for his. So he's had like a number of models that he developed. Okay, because the blades sort of resembles the propellers for the helicopter. I should have mentioned in 1940 that Epp had ranked the NCO and had claimed to be a technical teacher at the aircraft technical school in Germany. And the one way he wanted to get out of teaching, so he wanted to hand his plans over to the Air Reichs Ministry so he can get a better job, better money, and almost like trying to get funding for his projects in military applications as patents, so to speak. Okay. So I've got to be careful what I say here. So according to Epp's medical record, which is here in the book, he attempted to, I should say, unalive himself by shooting himself in the lung because of harassment by his superiors as he was taken on employment as a flight mechanic in the Greek island of Marso in May of the 3rd of 1943. And you can see the medical record right here. Yeah, that is just one really strange reoccurrence with Andreas Epp, is that the fact that there's some like really wacky, strange stories, almost like playing victim, so to speak. Yeah, that's one thing that gets brought up. Okay, so obviously, take it for what it's worth, right? So that is his medical record from that time period. And here's another record as well. So Joseph was injured in enemy action in October the 29th, 1944, as he was a Luftwaffe pilot. He was injured in the upper arm when he was stationed in Italy. All right. So obviously at that time period in the 1940s, he was basically a Luftwaffe pilot, and he was also a fighter pilot as well. And he was stationed all around Germany and obviously in Italy as well, fighting the Allies. So he was sent back to Germany for his recovery, and there's some speculation on behalf, because he said that he was sent to prison for 5 years in Italy in his own book, which is kind of weird. It's like, I'm reading through this book, which is quite very, very technical, then you read through his bibliography and it says something completely different. But again, we can back up his story by medical records, which you're seeing right here. Okay, so what I really want to focus on is records, so you know basically where he was stationed at the time. So whilst recovering from his injuries, Epp said he was arrested in Germany by the 22nd US Infantry Division. This was obviously to do with the US invasion of Germany at that time. Okay, so this is where he started to apply his application of that circular disc-shaped aircraft, right? But there needs to be some clarification about this, called the Omega disc model from the 1950s. Okay, so after the Second World War has ended, Epp designed a circular model aircraft called the Omega disc in 1958, and you can see the picture of it here. We've got another one here as well. Yeah, there's another one of it. So he's made models over time to do with his. The thing is, because he wanted to get money for his work, so the idea is that he made these models to show to the military personnel, say, look, these can fly. And a lot of these models that he actually created did actually fly. And this one, there's no actual pictures of it, but you can see a small miniature model right there, which has taken up a lot of his living room, I can see. So before Epp shown his small model of a jet fighter, oh, I think I got this one right here. Yep, here he is. So in 1953, with his Delta Wing model, he was in various German newspapers showing his designs, and we've got a few pictures right here. Oh, hold on, let's turn that around. Nope, there we go. So you see, he was mostly dealing with jets at this point, and this is in his book, The Reality of Flying Discs. He's also created that as well. So again, very, very small miniature models he's dealing with here. We got any more here? Yep, there we are. So this is in the 1950s, okay? And it's Seeking is actually running a fully functioning small miniature model. That. There we go. Okay, let's have a little look here. So yeah, in 1955, in April of 1955, an agent from the German intelligence service actually recruited Epp due to his acknowledgement of aircraft design, and he took a 4-week course in Radstock in Germany, sort of looking at the technical side, because he was featured in a lot of newspapers back in the time, and I think Germany was quite interested in his involvement in these model aircraft. So in picture 15, yeah. So in 1957, Epp contacted the American consulate in Burma. He volunteered as a technical advisor on construction a flying saucer aircraft, and he was interviewed by the CIC. So this is a CIC report from 1957, which is the Counterintelligence Corporation Agency, and you can see the actual picture right here. So he did see this agency in regards of the flying saucer aircraft. And skipping forward here to page 16. I'm not going to dwell too much on this. I'm going to skip over a lot of the stuff, okay? So I'm not going to dwindle too much on here, okay? So in 1958, he was wanted to take another stab of getting his model aircraft in patent application. And you can see right here, that is a patent application in Germany in 1958 to do with his model aircraft. 17. Okay, so however, in 1956, Epp was contacted by an agency of Ministry of National Defense and another one from the Ministry of State Security, told him by officials who led Epp to research. Basically, he took him to a research laboratory where he was shown, Epp, a model of a Soviet-designed flying saucer, apparently 2 meters in diameter, as the aircraft was in full production. We're going to get to this in a second, okay? This is the photographs we need to pay attention to, all right? Because we're not too sure where this actually came from. This is all to do with Epp, all right? So going back to his Amiga disk here, in 1958, Joseph Andreas Epp made a model of the Amiga disk shown in various newspapers in Germany. So this is this Amiga disk right here. There it is there. There's another crew drawing, another one there. So these are newspapers from the 50s and 60s, okay? So in 1965, Epp was interviewed in a Rome newspaper detailing his involvement in the flying disc development for the Third Reich. So Epp claims to have built the first prototype in 1936. Obviously, these flying discs were also made by Rudolf Schriever and Otto Hobbenmoor and the rest of the gang there, and these discs were apparently 12 meters across, and that had a 10-ton weight limit, and it flew around about 2,000 kilometers and 2,000 kilometers per hour. So at this point, he started to make a lot of strange accusations that he was actually part of the programs that were developed by the four scientists, Richard Mathey, Otto Hobbenmoor, Giuseppe Belluzzo, and Rudolf Schriever. Okay, so I talked about those scientists and engineers that were involved in that program from 1941 to 1945. But then he started to insert himself into that. But the thing is, he was injured in combat. So this is where things don't really make any sense. So again, through various newspapers in the 1960s, he was making these accusations, and he was showing a lot of his Amiga disk. And at this point, this is where he says that his plans that he was given to the Air Reich Ministry in 1941, they took his plans and technically stole it and applied it to the Third Reich flying disc program. Okay, so he was proclaiming that he was, in terms of his patterns and models, were actually part of a theft to sort of further advancement of the flying disc program without his permission, so to speak. So he's like, he kind of getting a little bit pissed off that the fact that his plans were actually stolen. We've got here 23. Okay, I've done that. So again, various newspapers in the 1950s and 60s showing Andreas Epp's circular disc-shaped aircraft called the Omega disc. Again, so at this time period in the 1960s, he was still trying to get patterns off the ground to get further work. Okay, so this is where... So we're coming into the end of the presentation. See, I skipped over a lot of over his life, okay, because it went into his like married life, and he was divorced, he had kids, he was a loner and all that. It was just like, oh, you know what I mean? It's just like boring stuff, okay. So I just showed you that he was in newspapers. He did have some sort of publicity to do with the flying disc program, all right. But remember that photograph that I showed you, which is in the thumbnail? See those flying discs? This is where it comes from, all right? This was taken from Henry Stevens' book, Hitler's Flying Saucers. And in here, I'm going to read this extract right here. So to the left is the original letter sent to the author by Andreas Epp. And on the right is a typed version done by Damon. Note, in English, so the English writing is right here. Obviously, because that's all in German. The English are directed to the authors, and the letter starts without any formal or informal greetings, stating that only still alive, these flying disc research and vertical takeoff speeds of 860 to 880 kilometers per hour and 525 and 550 miles per hour. I swear to God, I need glasses at this point. I could just zoom in, couldn't I, Nick? Really, look at it. So way after the Second World War, Joseph Andreas Epp received these photographs and letters from Otto Lang, who was a very famous pilot in Germany. And this was many, many years after the war, stating that the flying saucers we've seen here, the flying discs, was to do with Epp's designs. But there's a small little problem with that. This is actually Joseph Andreas Epp's handwriting, and not Otto Lang. So again, I believe that, I mean, if you go back through these books as well, it was actually stating that Andreas Epp was faking a lot of these materials and a lot of these letters, especially this one right here, okay? So he's trying to insert himself into the idea that he was part of the program. And here we have the actual photograph itself. It looks quite interesting, doesn't it? You know, these, especially that one there, because you can see buildings in the background. But this was taken, or I should say, Epp received these letters many, many years after the Second World War. So let's blow this up a bit bigger. So this is a blow up of a picture attached to Joseph Andreas Epp still alive letter in Prague of March of 1944. Note the intake ring and crest of steering on the roof of the cabin. Diameter is about 6 meters. This is the saucer described in the article. Possible location in Stelten near Pedimunda. And here we have it right here. Looks nothing like the Rudolf Schriever or Otto Hubble sort of projects, so to speak. Okay, and in here is a letter by Otto Lang. You can see his handwriting right here. But again, this is Joseph Andreas Epp's actual handwriting. So he's been faking a lot of these letters. Okay, so here's an extract from flying saucers from Nazi land. And it's going into more specific detail. And it's saying here that Epp accompanied the letter with 3 photos not mentioned in the letter, and probably used a narrative attempting to support his purported involvement in the design and development of the advanced circular aircraft visually. However, it seems he did not claim these pictures as proof of his creation. Images depict an invented model similar to the other in the 1950s and 1960s. Now, if we go back to this model here, this is an actual small little model that was created in the 1950s. It looks kind of like this right here. And this is an actual model. This is called the NS97 design. Featured a gyroscope revolving outer disc containing 8 turbine jet ports. And it kind of looks like this. And it's just like a very, very small miniature model, okay? So again, he could have faked a lot of these materials and photographs. The story was reported by a broad number of American newspapers and by many abroad, whilst the model picture became quite popular in UFO imagery. So yeah, we can see that right here. So this is from the 1950s. Right. I'm not going to dwell too much because you know how my reading skills is not super. I'm getting there. Hey, Bob, you missed all the reading. Hope you're doing well, man. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. So what I'm going to be doing today... Yes, hello, Bob. Nice to see you, man. Is a claim. I'll tell you what shall I do first? I'll tell you what. I'm going to play a clip of Joseph Andreas Epp. Okay, it's in English. And it's going to show this photograph that he'd taken in 1944 or 1945. Okay, this is where it gets strange. And what I'm about to show you, I have talked about it before. No one has found this photograph out. Okay, so this is going to be like the third time I spoke about this photograph. Okay, this is where it gets quite interesting, guys. So I do appreciate your patience in regards of Joseph Andreas Epp, but I just had to go through his backstory basically the best that I can. Yeah, tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to play that clip of the man himself. I'll try and find it. Where are you to? Where are you to, Joseph? You're here somewhere. Not that one. Not that one. Okay, put that one up instead. Fantastic. Okay, so in 1944, remember I said he was actually injured in Italy and he was sent back to Germany for recovery. And he almost got a, excuse me, the hint that Germany was building disc-shaped aircraft, allegedly. And he believed at that time that his plans was actually being used to develop these disc-shaped aircraft. And I'm going to show you what they actually look like. And I've talked about this to death. Go back to my part 1, part 2 of German flying saucers. And this is what was allegedly developed in Germany in 1941 to 1945. Now, these were turbine-driven aircraft. You can see right here by Richard Methe, Giuseppe Belluzzo, and Rudolf Schriever. You can see that right here. There we go. So it gives you an idea, all right? Nothing to do with Haunebu. So he knew that sort of projects were actually going on. And he actually went to Prague, near the Peenemünde facility, or just outside Prague, to actually find whether or not actually testing these flying saucers, or flying discs, I should say. Listen to what he actually has to say, because it gets really interesting, all right? So check this out. There we go. That there. Okay, let's do this.
Wir haben Transporte gemacht, auch vom Kampfgeschwader 26. Und zwar haben wir Torpedo geholt von Kiel, heute now.
The 26th Fighter Squadron had been ordered to fly from Kiel to Norway in order to resupply the 30 Fighter Squadron, the Bamba Command. On the return flight to Hamburg, I took a model of my aircraft design with me, and taking advantage of the opportunity, actually had it forwarded to Ernst Udet in the Reichs Air Ministry in Berlin.
Zum Reichsluftfahrtministerium nach Berlin an Udet. Udet hat dieses Modell weitergegeben an Peenemünde.
Udet passed this model on to the research establishment in Peenemünde, where tests were later carried out. Over and over again, I later heard reports from people who were working in Prague on the construction of flying discs.
It's not monetized. I haven't monetized this show. I don't understand why you're getting that sort of ads. Bloody hell. No idea, Green Sea. It's not monetized. I don't think it is.
Progress in this field was actually being made. I also knew that Habermohl and Schreber were in possession of my model and had begun work on its practical applications.
Mein Modell praktisch bekommen hätten zum Ausarbeiten, zum Rekonstruieren. Und diese Flugscheibe hat der Schreber auf seine Art, seine
Schreber
Gedanken
made certain
umgebaut.
alterations to my plans, whereas, as I was later to certain, Habermohl had remained true to my original design. The second prototype was a flying disc, 42 meters long, and was built by Nita Beluzzo in Breslau.
Again, that photograph right here. Green Sea, I have no idea. The show's not monetized. I don't monetize the live show. Guys, you getting ads? Please let me know, because you shouldn't do. It's because I have not monetized it at all. It should be off. But getting bloody senior dating apps, that's a bit strange, isn't it? No idea about that one. Green Tea, what have you been looking at? Ads are personalized to your whatever you've been searching. So Green Tea is all on you. So what are you saying here? That his plans were actually being developed by what you said here, Rudolf Schriever and Otto Habermohl. The Omega disc that you can see in the background of his right there wasn't developed until 1950s. All right, so this is his earlier model. Just to clarify. Clarification. There we go. So that design at the back, right there, his Omega desk, wasn't until 1950s. Okay.
This flying disc, as I discovered, was flown to Spitsbergen in Norway and should have returned to Rechlin on a directional beam with an unknown transmission frequency and code word.
Oh, hold on. My bad. Sorry, guys. You shouldn't have any more ads now. It was on for some odd reason. I never monetized a live show. Sorry. Sorry for pausing. Just going to say hello to Tony. How's it going? Nice to see you. Are you getting ads, Tony? Hopefully not. Hope you're doing well. Nice to see you. Yeah, only fans. Bloody hell, Green Sea. Hopefully not. Oh, no. Is everyone getting adverts? Right. I've literally unmonetized the show, so you shouldn't have any more ads. It's very, very unusual. It's probably just a slip up on my behalf. So apologies, guys, if you're getting dating apps for the adverts. But anyway, you shouldn't have that problem anymore. But thanks for letting me know, guys. Thank you.
However, due to a bad landing in Spitsbergen, it was damaged and was unable to complete the return flight home.
Listen.
After that, I drove into the hills just outside Prague, where the secret testing ground was supposed to have been located. I had my Leica A camera with me when suddenly I saw such a flying saucer. I was wounded at the time, so I know that it was November, December, although the test flight was not due to take place until the following February. Someone had made an unscheduled test flight, and this is what I saw coming towards me. It had no wings, absolutely none. I took a photo and wound on the film, but it was already directly over me. Then I took a second photo, and I could see that it was a flying gyroscope, a flying saucer.
There we go. He's taken a photograph of a flying saucer in Germany because he knew, allegedly, that they were actually testing flying, well, they're technically flying discs in Peenemünde, and he actually taken a photograph of it. All right, so let's get to the photographs, because this is where I know a lot of people know where I'm about to go with this. All right, so right here is the photograph in Joseph Andreas Epp's book. Let's put it bigger for you guys so you can see. All right. This here is a watermark. Okay, so he kept it. That's okay. That's from the documentary. So the original photo right here, you see that discoloration? That is because it was stored wrongly and a lot of moisture got into it. Therefore, the photograph was damaged. All right. So here we have it in black and white. And you can see here in his book. So this is the actual flying saucer itself. Check that out. Look at that, a flying saucer over Germany. Beautiful. But there's a bit of a problem. Now, if you do investigation work like I do, I noticed something. So as I'm scouring through my books, I've got a great book here. UFO photographs around the world, volume 1, and this is by Rendell Stevens and August Roberts. Okay, and as I'm scrolling through these pages, hold on, I'll show it. I've got it here. Okay, as I'm scouring through these pages, I come across that, and I'm going, oh, well, that's a bit odd, isn't it? It looks like Joseph Andreas Epp's photograph. All right, but check this out. Now, this book was released in 1986. 1986. Let's read the description right here. So, the 29th of August of 1962, and this was taken in Italy by an Italian person. I'm going to butcher his name. Sorry, Italian person. Snapped this photo of a UFO as his mother and wife and daughter watched a strange flying machine with him. It looked reflective and solid metallic. It skipped and zigzagged along in silence. And look at that, they're right there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is compare Joseph Andreas Epp photograph, which is the original one here, and here is the book title. Again, that's the one in that book. Okay, what I'm going to do is, I'm actually blocking the tree line. Hopefully you can hear me okay. All right. So to the left is Joseph Andreas Epp's photograph, and to the right is taken from UFO Photographs Around the World, Volume 1. What do you see? I want you to specifically look at the tree line right here. Okay. Especially the bottom bit. Now focus on this. This is the one that's in the book. Look at the tree line. You could just make out the end bit here and a little bit of the end piece there. It's the same photograph. It's the same flipping photograph. Here it is, side by side. There is the actual tree line itself. Okay. And here's the flying saucer. And this is actually in his book, Die Realität der Flugscheiben, Reality of Flying Discs. But as you can see, ladies and gentlemen, we've got a bit of a problem. They're the same photos. So I'm going, right. So this documentary, hello cat, how's it going? The documentary came out in 1994. So Joseph Andreas Epp was interviewed in 1991 for this documentary. But this book came out in 1986. But he said he took that photograph in 1944 or 1945 thereof. So I'm going, who am I supposed to believe here? Joseph Andreas Epp. But the thing is, he's got the original photograph. So how did Rendell Stevens get the original photograph to be put into his book? So it makes me think, right? And this is just going off a whim here. I'm going to put myself back up again. Okay. I personally think, well, there's two ways you can look about this. Either one, Joseph Andreas Epp had this book. He actually took a photograph from, actually, no, that didn't make any sense, or would it? Let me show you it in this book. Wait for it. Wait for it. Yeah. Now, hold on. Let's bring it up. Can I make it like that? Yeah, I guess so. So pay attention to that photograph and look at that. Come on then. There we go. I don't know if I'm going to see that right. So he could have potentially taken a photograph with a camera with this. But the thing is, no, actually, no, he couldn't have, because if you look at the tree line, it looks more to the side. So if you look at the actual tree line itself, right here, it's not really compared to, actually, no, I'll tell you what. I'm just trying to think who's got the right, hold on, let's go back to the one that's on the side. Yeah, there we go, there. So that's Joseph Andreas Epp's, and that's one from Rendell Stevens' book. I don't know what the scenario to deal with here. I really don't know. They're the same photograph, and I don't know how Rendell Stevens managed to get this photo. I'm not too sure on this one, but this definitely is the same, isn't it? So I'm scratching my head going, how am I supposed to get this in the right conclusion? Yes, Tony, thank you so much. Don't forget to smash that like button. That'd be much appreciated. For Alien Addict, be much appreciated. So I don't know. I really don't know. But it's just going off the whim that the fact that the tree lines absolutely match 100%. So again, just a clarification, Joseph Andreas Epp took that photograph in 1944. He shows it in the documentary in 1991. But again, it's in the book by Rendell Stevens that came out in 1986. But the description of the photograph came in, it's apparently allegedly from Italy, wasn't it? You can see the description that I read from this book. But again, Rendell Stevens, a convicted kiddie fiddler, true story, he was actually convicted for it. He has portrayed a lot of fake stories like Billy Meyer and, you know, etc., etc. So who am I supposed to believe here? Like She Pop Up says, trust the first photograph from Joseph Andreas Epp. So most probably Rendell Stevens, what Rebecca's saying here, could have like at least stole the photograph, but there's no mention of Epp or Joseph Andreas Epp in this book. Only the Italian guy. So yes, most likely that Rendell Stevens, the author of this book, and August Roberts, basically faked the sighting, but they use Andreas Epp's actual real photograph and just said it came from, or the sighting was in a different location. So there's a well possibility. Excuse me. So yeah, there we go. Excuse me, bloody hell. Yeah, I think that's it. So just to finish off, so there you go. That's the photograph that has always been on my mind, scratching my head for. Hey, Gobstopper, nice to see you, brother. Welcome on in. Nice to see you. God, I'm going to take a drink. I'm coughing into the microphone now. Oh, actually, we got a really, really good point there. How have we got? Oh, gone over an hour. Bloody hell. Okay. I'll tell you what. Whilst that documentary's playing, I will put that through AI, actually. That's a really good point there, Green Tea. I noticed with the AI, it can be 50-50, I have to admit, Green Tea, when it comes to information. But yeah, there we go. That's the tree line right there. There's the flying saucers. That's from his book. He's actually taken 2 series of photographs right here. And in this one, you can actually see the buildings in the background here, which is quite interesting. And what's actually say here? Oh, yeah, I did put it through AI, actually, because it's all in German. So it's saying the first photograph, and this is the second one that I showed you right here. So the proof, the test flight of a flying disc over the High Terrace, is that right? In February of 1945, the machine was built in Prague and came from production of Hubble and Schriever team. This picture and the one on the next page were taken by myself, obviously Epp himself. Between 2 photos, there were only the time span that I needed to rewind the film in the camera. The third photo could no longer be taken because the flying disc was already disappeared behind the mountings at a high speed. These 2 photos are the only authentic photos known to me that show a flying disc in flight. So that is the first one. And then the second one, it's a bit more closer up. So that's the one that I was showing you right here. So again, the test flight of the flying disc in February of 1945, which one thing that didn't really make sense because you still got leaves on the trees. You could kind of see it here. So it doesn't really make sense if it was February because all the leaves off the trees, especially in that time period, you know, as it's winter season. So the test flight of a flying disc of February of 1945, shortly before the Russian advancement, the occupation of Prague, the streaks on the picture appeared because I hid these 2 photos in my body. Oh, on the stamp, the negative of the film no longer exists. So the negative of these original photographs no longer exist. The 2 photos are unique contemporary documented proof that German flying disc actually flew. I'm fucking reading so bad. I'm getting there. Don't judge. I'm getting there. But there we go. That is taken from his book. His bibliography right here. Die Realität der Flugscheiben, the reality of flying discs. So I don't know on that one, but trust the original photographs, as Sheepop says. So there we go. It is mentioned in here that Epp sent a letter to American UFO enthusiast Henry Stevens, and he's the guy that wrote these two books right here, which does detail is pretty decent information in regards of the flying discs. So Henry Stevens, in October the 30th of 1991, he claims to have taken a couple of blurry photos of a man-made saucer flying somewhere over the High Taras, a mountain range that forms the natural border between Slovakia and Poland, on August the 13th of 1944. On the back of both photos were a reference to the V4 as the name of the purported tested aircraft, and two dates, August of 1944 and February of 1945. Oh, that's 2 dates on that one. Okay, this one probably added later. Okay, according to Roth School, on the back print of these photos, there was this text: flying gyro in the test flights over the High Taras in February of 1945, the only recording in the world. But on the original photo, the text was August of 1944. The February 1945 date was probably added later by Epp to better align his story with the leading accounts of the main flight of German flying saucers. Another note on one of these pictures stated construction Epp Habermoor Schriever. According to another source, Epp took the shots in February 14th of 1945 next to some hills around Prague. And that's what he was saying in that interview that I showed you right there. Still, it looks like an attempt to match the same dates that mainstream UFO mythology placed the first experimental flight of a revolutionary circular aircraft at Prague airfield. So another source shown an interview with Epp claiming the picture was taken in November or December of 1944. So which one is it? Okay. Leaves on the trees suggest that the date could not have been in late fall or winter. These photos were highly similar to hundreds and thousands of purported UFO pictures taken in the decades before the year 2000s. They usually were crude hoaxes easily made by plastering black tape on the glass plane or a window and then photographed. True, yes. Epp photographs were not the first images reportedly portraying German flying saucers during the Second World War. During the summer of 1952, at least 3 European magazines published 1 or 3 photos of a UFO in flight. Their quality was poor and likely produced in a same trickery way as a broad quantity of saucer pictures appeared until that moment. Okay, so Epp also reused the crazy rumors of George Klein, which I've done an episode on. I don't really need to talk about that. So yeah, again, it's these photographs here. It's just there really is some strange speculation about this, but I'll leave it to AI in a sec. There we go. So that was taken from a brilliant book. Okay, guys. So I'm going to move on from that. I'm going to come out of that. Honestly, it's a big, thick, lengthy book detailing every single count, stories, newspaper articles to do with the German flying discs from 1941 to the 1960s, actually. And it goes through like literally everything. It's absolutely fantastic. Again, it's where I got a lot of my resources from in regards to this. So yeah, there we go. So Joseph Andreas Epp, after that interview I showed you right there in 1997, he died alone. Bitter old man, apparently, according to his bibliography, and the fact that, you know, he said that his plans were stolen, used by the German Third Reich to further these flying disc programs. So there we go. So he was part of his plans were part of a theft to further the flying discs, allegedly. So, but again, I've glossed over a lot of his life, and he has made up
a lot of stories. Okay, so again, just a bit speculation on Epp's part. So hopefully that made some sense. Hopefully that's a little bit different because no one's really done any episodes on Joseph Andreas Epp. But again, it's part of the UFO lore. I can't say the word. Because of YouTube, you know what I mean? The NAZI, do you know what I mean? So there we go. I think I need to blow my nose and getting bunged up, mate. So there we go. Joseph Andreas Epp, a bitter man, as Gobstopper would say. Exactly, mate. Exactly. So yeah, like he passed away in 1997. So there we are. So that is the story of Epp's life, but it's just that photograph that really got me, and the fact that I managed to find it in a book that has a different description of it made me go, something's not quite right there. Do you know what I mean? So hopefully you found that interesting. So there we go. Right, we're going to move on to UFO hard evidence. So I uploaded. Where you to? Where you to, you bastard? There we go. Okay, fantastic. UFO hard evidence, volume 1 to 7. So the volume 7 that I uploaded 2 days ago is the last part. Yeah, there's only 7 parts of it, and it's proper 90s, mate. I love it. It's like pulls at my heartstrings. And there's a clip that I put, well, it's a short actually, uploaded to Alien Addict. And what's interesting about this clip? Wait for it. I've got to find it first. I'll tell you what. We do that. To that. To that. To that. There we go. So, Hard Evidence, Volume 7 from 2001. Beautiful. Where are you to? It is Volume 7. It's got to be. Is it? Yeah, here it is. Okay, right. Fantastic. Right. So, hold on. I have to blow my nose too. Oh my God. Oh, that's good. Okay, thank you, Green Sea. Thank you. Much appreciated. Thank you very much. So this right here is a very small clip from a police helicopter that focused on an object in the sky. Now, what's really interesting that the fact roundabout, well, this is one thing I noticed because I had my Awakening Stage 2007, which, by the way, the Cosmic Twilight, my other channel, are actually going to start going live, not tomorrow, but probably next week. Going to be more conspiracy stuff. Yay! Not here on Alien Addict, can't do that here. But what I want to do is show you this clip because there were a lot of Chinese lanterns in the sky. I mean, Pop, you probably know this as well. 2007, 8, 9, 10, something like that is... Yes, I am a believer. A lot of that content, a word I can't say, because the other day I got to bring up something because I've actually debunked the mainstream science over that. Yes, it's real, Bob Lazar. It's real, okay? But that's for the Cosmic Twilight, not for Alien Addict. I've got to be PG-13 here. But going back to this footage, right? I'm going to play it because no one really knew about Chinese lanterns back in the day. They didn't really know. And I did play a clip from part 6 of someone seeing these balls of... Well, it's almost like a cylindrical sort of object that looked like it had a flame underneath it. I was like, oh, that's a typical Chinese lantern because I've personally filmed Chinese lanterns in the sky before, so I know exactly what they look like. So check this out. This is more or less like a real close-up shot of this. So let's bring it up a bit bigger. Yeah, I know I was on the fence a little bit, but I've been doing research, Bob Lazar, and you know I think one would call me a flip-flopper. Look, I've been in that conspiracy since 2007, buddy, man. I can show you, like, the trails in the sky. I got, like, home video from, like, 2008 and 9. Very nostalgic for me. But anyway, let's show you something.
Exactly why Prufos was set up.
Right, check this out.
Hopefully I can give an insight where others may not be.
Right, there it is. So, police officer do report UFOs. Sometimes their encounters are captured on film or an audio recording of actual bloody hell, Nick, actual events. I'm dying there. The next two clips were the next two clips are as such events. Check this out. Right. Now we all know Chinese lanterns. They're like cylindrical lanterns in the sky, all right? And you could say it's traveling quite fast, right? You could almost like refer that to the gimbal Go Fast and the Tic Tac video. There we go. Like, check this out. Look. Look. Both. Right, I'm going to pause it there. Look at it. Look at the beautiful Chinese lantern. It's clearly obvious what it is, isn't it? It looks like it's hauling ass, actually, when you look at it. But this is very typical. Are they banned now? Because do you know what, Rebecca? I haven't seen them in years. Last one I've seen must have been well over 10 years ago. Yeah, they're beautiful to watch. Absolutely, Tony. Yeah. Like I said, I haven't really seen them in a number of, well over 10 years, so to speak. I tell you what, if I can actually find anything on my... I'll have a look in a second. But there we go. That is a very much typical Chinese lantern. And I got a few shitty comments from people going, oh, Nick, well, you could do better than that. I'm like, look, I did put on the short UFO or Chinese lantern. There we go. Look, check this out. You see it flickering? Beautiful. One more time. Yeah, there we go. You can see it flickering at the bottom. So there we go, guys. That is from 2001. All right. So Chinese lanterns were about at that time. Do I have any home videos of... No, I think I put it away. I might have put it away somewhere. Okay. No, I didn't. Mate, if you go... That's on Alien Alec's YouTube channel. I uploaded it a couple of days ago. Someone was complaining, so what's this cheesy music? It's like, look, it's early 2000s, man. It's like, it's proper jiggy music. I love it. It might be on the playlist at the end of the credits. It might be, mate. It might be. So there we go. That is definitely a Chinese lantern. Beautiful. I'll tell you what. I'm going to play a little bit of this. And I'm going to try and bring up some old video footage. Right. Enjoy, just for a second. Some old footage. Look. Doo-doo. Doo-doo. Okay, UFO. Oh, golly, yes.
This is a basic iris motor. This is, of course, the iris motor.
Right, beautiful. Beautiful. So we'll go check that out. Go check out. Yeah, I think a lot of Chris Bledsoe's orbs are pretty much out of focus. I'm going to be honest with you. Hey, dead Pish Cheese Spread. How's it going, man? Nice to see you. Hope you're doing well. Yes, very chill out session. Oh, how's it going, man? Nice to see you. Give me a sec. I'll put it on Google Translate. That is one big word. Hope you're doing well. I can't get your name right. Nice to see you, man. So I tell you what, I have got right here a personal recording of a Chinese lantern from 2010. Now, this is when I started to notice these Chinese lanterns. What I'm going to do here. So what I'm going to do first of all is I'm going to write down your name. And I'm going to bring up this to that. To that. So this is 2010, and that would have been 16 years ago. Flip it out. A long time. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen Chinese lanterns. So this was New Year, all right? Now, the audio won't be able to hear anything. Wait for it. There we go. Here's some Chinese lanterns. There we go. Bear in mind, there was no stabilization control on my crappy tape camcorder, so don't judge. There we go. And that is a proper Chinese lantern. There's a few of them there. Look at that. Enjoy some fireworks. I'll go back a bit. You can't hear it, but I'm going. Is there any UFO sightings in the sky? I was 20 years old at that point. Yes, Nick. Okay, right. So there you go. They can see some Chinese lanterns right there. Beautiful. Okay, I'll tell you what. Let's just bring back up hard evidence one more time. There we go.
Oh, what's it there later on tonight? Was that a star? Was that a UFO?
Most probably stoned, yes. Stoned down my gorge. Okay, right. Just put it through Google Translate. It was one hell of a word, so I'm going to call you a trawler. Is that right? Is that okay if I call you a trawler? I hope you're doing well, trawler. Hope we can pronounce your name right. But that was one big word. What is that? Is that Romanian by any chance? Someone said that was possibly Romanian. Yeah. Oh, it is a Romanian name. Oh, okay. Fantastic. Yeah. I call trawler. Hopefully that's right. Please correct me if I'm wrong. To apologise if I got it wrong, but I'll try to get everyone's name right on this one. So yes, it's Romanian. Oh, right. Okay. Awesome. All right, trawler. I shall remember that. I shall put it on my names of people in chat. There we go. Fantastic. Right, what I'm going to do, play a little bit more of this. Got some beautiful songs. Well, welcome on in. It's nice to see you. Beautiful. So that, my friends, is UFO Hard Evidence Volume 7. It's the last of its kind, uploaded to Alien Addict, so I encourage you to go check that out, all right? Just to finish off, something right here that I will going to be uploading to Alien Addict probably Sunday, because I'm going camping tomorrow. This VHS tape that I copied. Where are you to? There we are. UFOs, The Complete Truth. Startling New Evidence. Look at that. This came out in 1996. Will be uploaded to Alien Addict. Unfortunately, the quality is not that great. I'm just going to show you what it looks like. I'm just going to play like 5 minutes of it, 5-10 minutes, just to show you what I have in store for. Oh, there we go. Fantastic. I have to put it through my editing software. In fact, no, I did it wrong. To that, I need to put that on there so you can hear the sound. Here we go. Right. Here we go. So you can see the quality is not that great. I might have to do it again. But bear in mind, these VHS tapes, depending on how they're stored, will look a bit crappy with the quality.
In this video, shot in 1990.
I'm going to turn it up just slightly. Okay, cool.
During a total eclipse of the sun, the television camera focused on a bright object in the sky. It then panned down to the roofs to establish the relative position and distance of the UFO. Here is the object on the film editor's screen. It's like a spinning top or a saucer which is turning.
Oh, the quality's crap, isn't it? Oh, it's terrible.
And now another UFO in the Mexican sky.
Oh dear.
Let's look at it again on the editor's screen. These are totally amazing images. This is 1992. Watch the UFO as it moves about the sky. Here it is, captured closer.
No.
1994, and another UFO. This time in the skies over Mexico City itself. Sometimes the UFOs present themselves in formation, like this sighting in 1994. The question as to the authenticity of the films seems to have been answered by Professor Quezada. To be a...
Yeah, you make a really good point there, Paul Robertson. I'm really sorry for the quality. I'm going to redo this again, actually, to the fact that it's just really grainy. I don't understand what's going on here. Again, it might be down to the actual VHS tape itself. But what's really interesting, if you look back in the 90s, especially in Mexico, in fact, all around the world, there are so much incredible UFO sightings. Like the one you just saw like a moment ago with the disc shaped in the sky. And that's a very famous one that happened in 1991 during the solar eclipse, where 6 people saw this object, like this saucer-shaped object in the sky. And they all filmed it separately in different locations. But we are not seeing this anymore. I mean... Everything's just AI bollocks, and this is why I don't really show UFO sightings now, because it's just so much nonsense and AI crap, and we just have to look into the past and go, right, okay, let's try and make an equation of what we're seeing now compared to what is back then. You know, when it comes to AI, it's got that look to it, but here you're getting authentic. You know, it's kind of hard to fake a UFO sighting with these camcorders. I mean, yeah, it is achievable, but it's very, very, like Paul was saying here, very basic technology. Do you know what I mean?
Hoax. They would have had to have falsified the film on hundreds of videos taken by the vigilantes.
Yeah, I would agree.
A very expensive conspiracy.
Yeah.
Who could possibly gain from it? Here are still photographs taken by Paul Trent.
Oh, yeah, Paul Trent, McViddyville, I think.
A farmer in Oregon in 1950. These have been verified by military aviation laboratories in the USA. Here is a photo of a UFO taken in Germany and a thermographic analysis. These are 2 photographs taken in New Mexico.
Oh, I'm not going to get this wrong. Probably Paul Villa or Daniel Fry.
USA in 1992 near the Manzana atomic base.
No.
UFO sightings are common over these kind of facilities.
Oh, that's Gulf Breeze sighting.
And this is a long series of photos taken in 1987 by a Mr. and Mrs. Walton in the Gulf Breeze area of the USA.
There you go.
Some claim that they're a hoax, but examination of the photographs by a leading expert has confirmed their authenticity.
I was confronted with the problem of, could this be real? It was hard to imagine that Mr. Walters could hoax photos and then have everybody else, have so many other witnesses agree with him.
Right, one thing with Gulf Breeze sighting, I'll still continue to play this just for like next 5-10 minutes. What's interesting are the fact that yes, there was UFO sightings seen around Gulf Breeze at the time in the late 80s, especially early 90s. And I actually have the original book here, The Gulf Breeze Sightings by Ed Walters and Francis Walters. And I showed this on Hidden Underbelly show. It was actually signed, a signed copy. Oh, God's sake, here's a bloody photo. I can't believe it put on screen. There we go. A signed copy by Ed Walters and Francis Walters. There we go. So the authors of the book itself. And once you read this book, it sounds like a comic book. It really is so outlandish. And some of the photographs. I mean, there's one photograph in here which I absolutely find hilarious. So one of the stories is that Ed was having a shower, and he was a contactee, basically, who's been abducted by these aliens, well, from this flying saucer. And there's that famous photograph of the flying saucer in the road. Okay. And what's interesting at the fact that MUFON got involved with this, but there's one photograph in here, which is basically me. So if I saw a UFO outside and I just come out of the shower, it's a picture of Ed Walters in a towel with his fist in the air, and he got the UFO up in the sky. It is a fun one. Light beam, blast, enhanced for detail. There we go. This is Francis Walters, and that is an extraterrestrial beam that was attacking Francis at the time. But if you read the book, it sounds like a comic book. It's quite hilarious, actually. But the thing is, there was UFO sightings happening around Gulf Breeze, Florida at the time. So whether or not Ed Walters was doing like the Amityville horror sort of situation, going, I could make a book and make a few bucks out of this by making outlandish stories. But again, it's got the photographs with it, which is quite hilarious. So we'll continue with this.
It would have to be a grand conspiracy, or else other people were seeing something and he was photographing it. In any case, I studied the photos very carefully. My conclusion is that all those sightings were real.
It's important to remember that the same phenomenon was photographed in other countries at the same time.
We should do, actually. Yeah, we could do, actually. I'll think about that. No, I've done one before.
As you can see from the following examples, there are many kinds of UFOs. Another element in the study of UFOs is the examination of traces that are left on the ground where alleged sightings have taken place. Sometimes a whitish substance falls from the UFO. Its analysis has given some disconcerting results.
Noi abbiamo analizzato queste tracce e che cosa abbiamo trovato? Due cose molto importanti.
What have we found so far?
Primo, che il terreno non era bruciato come
There are two important things.
tutta la storiografia degli UFO dice.
The first was that the ground was not burnt as we thought. It was, in fact, crystallized by microwave radiation. The microwave in question would have been 50 million times stronger than an industrial oven. Imagine the power of it.
Bene, noi per la prima volta siamo riusciti a riprodurre il fenomeno in laboratorio e a misurarlo.
We managed to test the phenomenon in the laboratory. Galileo would have been proud of us.
Quindi nessuno scienziato al mondo può più dire che noi.
We demonstrated the cause of the crystallization. Nobody can say it isn't true.
It's a jellyfish, isn't it?
As we did it under laboratory conditions.
Hi, Mike Frey. Nice to see you, man.
We examined deposits formed on the ground by the UFOs, and these gave us some disconcerting results. In 1957, a deposit from a UFO was analyzed, and it was found to contain magnesium, a magnesium much heavier than anything known on Earth. It didn't have a nucleus, and it was really much heavier than our magnesium. It was definitely magnesium from space.
Ebbene, bisogna sapere che magnesio di questo tipo può venire solo dallo spazio.
The French, in 1967, found a similar deposit, and this was also magnesium, and it was much heavier than terrestrial magnesium. I have a simple conclusion from all of this, and other evidence. I'm absolutely convinced it was of extraterrestrial origin.
La mia conclusione è semplicissima. Al di là di
On this planet, we don't have the technology to make this form of magnesium.
Well, right. I'm going to sound like a bit of a conspiracy theorist right here, okay, right? Do you know there is a connection between crop circles and 9/11? Okay. So, in one of the crop circles, what they found, there's something called nodes. Oh, I'll put it a bit bigger. So the stems or the stalk that get flattened down. All right, so we're not talking about man-made ones like real crop circles, because there are real crop circles. And what they found is something called nodes. So right on the knuckle of the actual stem, so imagine that stem, the knuckle will actually expand, and it's like the protein is reacted inside the actual stem. And where the knuckle is called a node, and it actually expanded to a ball. And when they actually put that through a microscope, there's actually tiny, small little balls of, you could say, well, this guy's saying magnesium, all right, but it's some form of metal that is all over the crop circle. And when they did tests from the World Trade Center, they found something called tritium, which is like these tiny spherical balls in the dust. And the only way you can get that ball is through a nuclear reaction. Makes you think, doesn't it? Who did an episode on that? I forgot his name now. It was really, really interesting. I actually watched it the other day. Oh God, what was it called? Andrew Johnson on Richard D. Hall's show talked about the connection between crop circles and 9/11. I'm probably glossing over a lot of stuff, but it was actually really interesting. I actually watched it the other day. Hey, John P. Adventures, how's it going, man? Nice to see you. Oh yeah, oh mate, we're gonna have a good show next couple of weeks. I'll let you know, brother, about the dates and everything. I need to liaise with Hidden. Which day is it? I'll get back to you, but thank you for the song. It's much appreciated, brother. Thank you so much. What's the connection? Basically, the crop circles have the small cylindrical balls, and then in the 9/11 dust that was tested, you had the same balls. Whether or not they had the same compound, I'm not too sure. I'll tell you what, let me find the show and I'll put it in link in the description. It was immensely fascinating, it really was. Excuse me.
I'm convinced of this.
Oggi siamo sicurissimi che il fenomeno è esogeno al pianeta Terra, cioè viene da fuori, è tecnologico, non è di nostra competenza, non lo sappiamo riprodurre.
And what do the authorities say about UFOs? For many years, they've denied or ridiculed these stories, but their attitude has now partially changed. We saw a big object in the sky which we couldn't identify. It had very powerful lights which directed at the ground. In 1989 and 1990, there were numerous sightings of a UFO in Belgium by more than 2,000 civilians and numerous police patrols. It was a triangular object with 3 lights at the top and 1 in the center. It was flying silently at very low altitude just above the ground. This photograph of the object, complete with thermographic analysis, is a filmed sequence.
Oh, there it is. Found it. Perfect.
Belgian military aviation authorities have officially...
All right, Paul. Here is the link for the crop circle and 9/11 thing. Okay. I glossed over a lot. I was watching just like one part. I think it's like 4 parts on this one. But yeah, go check it out, mate. You might find it quite interesting, really. So yeah, link is in description right there. Go check it out.
Actually joined a collaborative study of the case. After ground radar revealed the presence of the object, some jet fighters were scrambled to intercept the UFO, but without success.
Oh, really? I didn't know
because
that.
the object performed some incredible maneuvers, demonstrating it was in some way guided. Was it an experimental military aircraft, like the stealth bomber? The US government has denied this possibility. The stealth bomber is also...
This is what you're going to get when the alleged Trump releases the files on UFOs. It's all going to be redacted. It's going to be nothing new. Wait for it.
So noisy. And the question is, why would a foreign experimental plane fly at low altitude over a densely populated area? Belgian Air Force General Charles de
Good,
Breuer
mate.
held
Well
a
done.
press
Nice one.
conference on the 18th of December 1989 to confirm that they had intercepted UFOs. His written report states, there were no signs of danger. The mystery of their origin remains, but the phenomena exists. It is real.
A été contacté plusieurs fois pour
look at that,
demander s'ils avaient des observations au radar aussi. Et nous avons donc les deux radars.
The UFO sighted over Belgium is very similar to that sighted over Ticino by our Swiss housewife, and the UFOs filmed over Pueblo in Mexico.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll tell you what. I'm going to play that clip that you just sent me, Green Tea. So this will be uploaded to Alien Addict on Sunday. But I don't want to show too much of it. Okay, let's put it through the editing software at the moment. I'm going to redo it again because I know the quality is pretty crap. It's just really grainy. Look at it.
Studies of the...
You can make it out, but it's... I'll figure it out, guys, okay? So don't worry about that. So this VHS tape, let's come out of that. Stop sharing. Fantastic. What you just saw, UFOs, The Complete Truth. Startling new evidence from 1996 will be uploaded Sunday because we're going camping tomorrow. So, yeah, I'll do that for you guys. So again, I have plenty more VHS tapes to play. I'm still trying to figure out this one. It's bloody annoying. It's coming out as black and white. I might take it to the video shop and get this actually in digital format. But yeah, anything with underground videos, it's really weird. It's like it just keeps coming out as black and white. It's really annoying. So yeah, that's a presentation not on YouTube or anywhere on the internet. So pay attention to Alien Addict. Be uploaded soon. So let's play that clip from Green Tea, because we are coming up to crop circle season, and I don't live too far from Wiltshire. It's probably about like 35-minute drive. Let's have a little look. So this is broad code. Check this out. Oh, I tell you what, there's one. I've got ants everywhere. I tell you what, I took a sip of my bloody coffee earlier. I was like, why has it got bits in it? I swear to God, I swallowed a few ants. Terrible. Bloody terrible. Right. There's a fantastic book I have right here. Right. Let me write that down, Bob. Because NTSC. I had to buy a S-video cable, and it does work, but it's really funny. It's like certain videotapes just doesn't really work properly. Yours is probably right. Okay, all right. I'm learning. That rings a bell, actually. So do I have to change the whole video system itself, the actual video player? Is that what you mean? Where are we to? Oh, there it is. You want the best book? Yeah, we got. I buy VHS tapes from America, which is that one there, which I bought from America. But I might have to change my VHS player, which they want. Hold on. Oh, is that your specialist subject? Help me out here, Paul. It's really annoying, mate. It's like Vladimir Tazinski one. It's black and white. I tell you what, I'll do a little video, and next time I go live and you're in chat, I'll show you what I mean. It's really annoying, mate, because I might have to change the actual player itself. Maybe you can flicker to switch to... Right. I'm going to write that down. Let me have a little look. To NTSC. Otherwise, I'd probably just like... Okay, I tell you what. I'll play that and I'll show you what I use. Anything to do with crop circles, this is a fantastic book, The Great Turning by Michael Green. I think he's passed, actually. Apologies if you haven't. But when I bought this, I think they were talking about it at the conference. Crop circles and their messages to humanity. It's a massive, lengthy book. And in here, it goes through basically all the crop circles and how you can trace it back throughout history and everything. So when the time comes, I will do a little breakdown on this, because it's immensely fascinating book, because it really goes back into like history through Tibetan times, the Aztec, And it's almost like their messages to humanity. Look, it goes on to like details and everything. Immensely fascinating book. So if you want to know more about crop circles, go check this out. Yeah, I'll tell you what, I'm going to play that video. There we go. 2 seconds. I'm going to show you what I use. Oh, that's really nice music. I like that. It's nice. Do you think I'm going to get copyright? I bloody hope not. Just turn it down just slightly. Greetings, fellow travellers. Oh, I tell you what, I'll stick that in actual chat so you can go see. Oh, is it? Evening, Moody. How's it going? Yeah, I'm going to get probably copyright for that one. It's all right. How's it going, Moody? Nice to see you, brother. Hope you're doing well, man. Hope you're doing well. But go check out that that video for what Green Tea just sent. Really, really good stuff. I love sort of crop circles. Because there's definitely something there. Yes, they are man-made, but some of them are actually real. I go through here. Chat. Let's go bananas. Oh, there we are. Where is it to? Oh, yeah, there it is. John Woodmass. Nice to see you. How's it going? Nice to see you. Hope you're well. How's it going? Right. Okay, but I'll probably get copyright from that. God, that's fine. Whatever. Yeah, Bob Lazar. I haven't watched the documentary yet. It's on my cards actually to actually watch. I want to watch it with the missus because she doesn't really know about him. Bob, interdimensional, fascinating. Yeah, I mean, it's the whole interdimensional sort of side, which there's definitely the aspect of that in ufology at the moment for sure. Yeah, I mean, you could go into like the shamanic realms to sort of go into that sort of aspect, but there's definitely a connection between the paranormal and the interdimensional realm for sure. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, mostly man-made. Yes, I have to admit. But there's like the real crop circles is like 5%. It's very, very small percentage, but there are real ones out there. Hey, Mods Mayhem, how's it going, man? Cool show. I appreciate it. Oh, thank you so much, man. I do appreciate it. I try to change things a little bit different on Alien Addict a little bit. Yeah, no, thanks for joining. Hope you're well. Yes, interdimensional. Yes, communications. Yes, because they're obviously giving us some messages, which is practically what crop circles are. Yeah. In fact, did I do a show on crop circles? I might have done. I'll do a recap of it. I'll actually like to visit one, actually. I'll keep my eye out for the crop circle website. So I actually can go in there. But I think you might need permission through the farmers and all that. So anyway, here is my digital converter. You have the 3 inputs. And here is what is the start lead with the 3 inputs, and I've got the S cable at the back, and in here it says input and output, and it comes out in black and white. So I don't know what to do. It's really annoying. I can't figure it out. I don't know. So that's what I use. So that goes obviously in the back of the VHS, and it obviously I put it in this thingy majiggy here, which cost me 250 quid. Thank you very much, Clear Click. Yeah, Clear Click. Yeah, that's it. So again, it's coming out as black and white, but my normal one VHS, it's coming out in color. But the underground ones, it's in black and white. So I've got to plug in the S cable with the 3 inputs into here, and I put. It's too many cables. Why is it so complicated? And I put that one in there like that, exhibit A to exhibit B, like that, and it still comes up in black and white. That's confusing. This is confusing. I know that's what's going on. Damn you, start lead. I don't know. Oh, it's just like bloody technology. I am literally losing my shit every time something is in black and white and it's not working properly. Oh, bloody hell. Anyway, right. I've got anything else that I can play. Complete evidence. I've done that. Oh, I'll tell you what. Right, there is one thing I need to black and white. That's what someone said that. Okay. I'm going to write that down for the 3rd time. NTSC to PAL. Okay. I'll try that. I swear to God, Moody, I'm going to lose my shit if anything like works. Like slamming my hand on the VHS table. Like, why aren't you working? For Christ's sake. They said it was a faulty cable, so I ended up buying that cable, S video cable. Bloody technology. It should be quite simple to use, isn't it? But anyway, thank you. Thanks for your help, guys. Because I am going to have this sort of problems again. It's going to reoccur, isn't it? So, right. Alien autopsy. I have... Fuck it. Shall I just play a little bit of it? I'll go like here somewhere. Let's have a look. I have the full autopsy that came from Channel 4. Or is it 2? Hold on, 2 seconds. I'll grab it. So basically... I have a VHS tape. I've actually did convert. It's called The Incident at Roswell. All right. And in here, it says contains alien footage never seen before. I can't find it on YouTube, the full autopsy. And I remember Ollie saying to me that the fact that this was either copyrighted or banned. Now, the alien autopsy footage, I think it's, personally, I just think it's fake, to be honest with you. But what I can do, should we just test it? Should just play a little bit of it, see what happens. Where are we to? VHS. I did convert it. No, I did do it, didn't I? VHS. Incident at Roswell. Yeah, there we go. Let's put that in there. Let's get rid of that. And this came out in 1995. Get rid of that. Let's put it in there. Okay, sweet. Let's do this. It's got up to 2 hours. I said it won't go more than an hour and a half, but okay, just a little bit, just tiny little bit more. All right. Back to the editing software. How come you didn't come up? Share. Be careful. Yeah, I know that. StreamYard, thank you very much. Here we go. Here is... I don't think this is on the internet. Let's bring it up a bit bigger.
Oh, yes, it was a cover-up from the beginning.
It's doing grainy again. Yes, here's a teaser. Just you pop. Copyright banner. Yeah, I tell you what, good point. Guys, is the graininess... Oh, hold on a minute. See how it's all grainy? Is that the VHS player itself? Do I need to get a new one? God, it's my cat that came in. Jesus Christ, I thought it was a ghost. The door just opened. Right, okay. Right. Okay. All right. Is that actually on the VHS player itself, Moody? Or is that through the editing software to actually change it? Go on, come say hello. Come say to the people. The cat's there. Come say hello, darling. Mwah. There you go. Stay down. Might be linked to the monitor setting. Okay. You need a video that does both formats. Right. Okay. Okay. All right. Cool. Cool. Okay. Cool. All right. Thanks for your help, guys. Because literally, I put it through AI and it wasn't really helping. To be honest with you, much appreciated. Guys, play a little bit of it. The Roswell incident. A little bit of a teaser for you guys. A little bit of a teaser.
Roswell, New Mexico, 1947. A military town and Air Force base. Home to America's 509 bomb group. A tight-knit community of soldiers and civilians in the heartland of rural America.
Yeah, Roswell, mate. Yeah.
In the summer of 1947, the whole of America was gripped by a wave of sightings of flying saucers. In Roswell, there were many witnesses to a strange light in the sky.
Right. Right. Okay, Paul. Yeah, it's doing that. I don't like that.
Just going in a northerly motion at a pretty rapid speed, but nothing like a falling star or a meteorite. So bright like that, you couldn't look direct at it very long at a time. Then you had to look to the side of it, just like looking into a bright sun.
William Woody is 61, a pig farmer who worked for the local bus company in Roswell. He remembers to this day what he saw on the night of the 4th of July, 1947.
I was 13 years alive, and that's the first time I'd ever seen anything like that.
All right, thanks, Grok.
Headed north out 285 just to see if we could locate it. The exit or path off of the highway was blocked off with the military sentries and said that it was under investigation and nobody was allowed to go either
I'll have a look.
east or west off of the highway.
It's the player then. All right, fine. I've got to splash out more money. Otherwise, I'm gay.
Ranch, 75 miles northwest of Roswell. Mac Brazel, a farmhand, was on his daily rounds when he came across some strange material scattered in the fields. His sheep refused to go near it.
I read the end, all right?
Unable to identify what it was, Brazel travelled 20 miles to show his nearest neighbour what he had found. Loretta Proctor is 83 and still lives on the same ranch near Corona, north of Roswell.
Yeah, it's pretty
She
bright,
remembers
isn't it?
Brazel arriving on horseback with a collection of strange material.
He showed us this piece that looked like plastic or wood of some kind, and he said that there was some metallic looking stuff that when you crushed it, it just straightened right back out. It wouldn't stay crushed. And there was some beams or something that he said had kind of pinkish purple printing on it. Well, we told him it's probably a UFO and he should report it.
Brazel took her advice and travelled into Roswell town with the strange debris. He reported his find to the sheriff of Chavez County. Sheriff George Wilcox immediately notified.
It's called. Oh, I was gonna click it. It's called the capture device. It's this. Hold on. I need to get a new bloody camera. Clear Click. Video to digital converter, second generation 2.0. Input 5 volts. Does that mean anything? But that's it there. That's it. All right. So that's what I'm using to digitalize this. But no, thanks for the information. I have to change the VHS because it's fine with like other VHS ones I've used, like quite fine to be honest with you. So yeah.
The local airbase. Roswell Army Airfield was home to the 509, America's elite bomb group, which had dropped the atomic bomb on Japan.
Much help is appreciated.
As the only atomic bomb squadron in the world, it was surrounded by...
Right, tester. Ready?